The cards here in version 42 are pretty amazing, and some of these amazing cards synergize so well with certain heroes, they're basically a must-have. In this video, I'm going through all of the heroes we currently have and kind of showing you what are some of my top pick must-have cards for the heroes. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to A Paragon Guide. I am Sylphin. In this video, like I said, we're going through the must-have cards on all of our heroes. We're going to start with the carries with none other than Grim X himself. He's pretty good here in version 42, and along with all the standard carry cards, the carries are kinda linear still in version 42, but they still have very good options. Hellfire Engine is just one of those. He is, hopefully, I'm still thinking a mega super carry. He is an ultra carry, and just 100 more basic damage is mind-blowing on Grim, because he can slow people, he can knock people away, as he just needs a couple hits and people are just incinerated. Now, you may not agree with me on this one, but I think there's good reason. Deathcrawler reduces your attack speed by 65, but basically means every 8 seconds, your basic attack deals triple damage. It's pretty insane. Now, why does this work on Murdoch? Because of his extended range passive. Every once in a while, every time Deathcrawler is up, you'll be able to have an extended range basic attack that deals this damage. So not only does he have great influence anywhere on the map with his ultimate, but locally speaking, he can have a tremendous amount of damage. Boom, there's an extended range Deathcrawler attack into his buckshot to keep people at bay, into another basic, and that is a ton of burst damage. Now, Revenant here, pretty much the same as Murdoch in terms of what I would recommend on him. Now, remember, for these carries, there's a lot of other good just standard cards that you just gotta have, so I'm trying to think of cards that are different for the hero we're talking about. Deathcrawler, again, is what I would recommend. Attack speed is reduced by 65, but because he's Revenant, he don't care about reduced attack speed, so he still hits just as fast. His reload is marginally, basically negligibly slower, and you get every 8 seconds your basic attack deals 300% bonus damage. What a ridiculous card for Revenant to open up on somebody with a triple damage basic followed by 3 others into a scar and obliterate. It's completely insane. Now, Serath is a bit tricky for me, but I think, honestly, this one is it, on top of all the other great carry cards that are out there. Knight of Asher. This card, single-handedly, I'm almost certain, gives the most added basic damage than any other card. Besides the Hellfire Engine, but, I mean, this one doesn't unequipped when you die, which as a melee carry is questionable. Knight of the Asher, power, attack speed, and basic armor, so you can just dive in on the enemy carry and 1v1 them, gain 25 basic damage plus 1.5 times your agility attribute points. So basically 25 agility points turns into 37.5 extra damage, plus the 25, plus the 19 power. Boosh on Serath, who scales really well with power and that added damage. Plus you throw on lifesteal on her, plus the lifesteal gem, and maybe the duelist gem. She's just an unstoppable 1v1 dive in on the support or the carry, and you just can't stop her. Insane card. For Sparrow, I can't help but recommend Hellfire Engine. A couple reasons. One, you can get the heavy hitter that increases your basic damage by 15%, plus you can get Shatter Golem, which is basically your crit card. The crit doesn't feed into her passive, but heavy hitter and Hellfire Engine does. And with the amount of attack speed here in version 42, Sparrow's passive will absolutely run wild to the point where it's just absolutely ridiculous. 100 basic damage on top of her heavy hitter, on top of her passive, is just absolutely mind-blowing. Now, Twin Blast is a tough cookie. Because of his grenades that have long range and it's quite bursty, to be honest with you, you can continue to play Twin Blast like you do currently in version 42 as a bursty sort of carry. Deathcrawler, that's it. Again, reduce your attack speed, which he has a lot of it naturally anyways with such a short cooldown. Every 8 seconds you do triple damage, so basically open up with a Deathcrawler into a rapid fire, into more basics, and with grenades on top. Kaboom! That burst damage is going to be absolutely insane. Deathcrawler, you know what? I think on Twin Blast is going to be monstrous. Now, this card for Yin is pretty much a no-brainer for me. Vampiric Blade, power, attack speed, and health is a melee carry. That's great. Pseudo-melee. She definitely likes to get in there. 9 agility, 4 vitality to gain 2 ridiculous things. A lifesteal, because the gem lifesteal is only 6%, so another 10, that starts to become really meaningful. And overflowing feast, gain 150% lifesteal. Basically, you heal for 1.5 times the damage you deal for 3 seconds every 75 seconds. That is absolutely insane. Yin, obviously, she can cleave through absolutely everything. Sparrow can too with her ultimate, but Yin much, much more so. In a team fight, cleaving through people in a minion wave, that's absolutely insane. On Raptors, that's Vampiric Blade on Yin, I think, is going to be a playmaker. Now, it should really come to no surprise what you really want on Wukong. Of course, there are other cards that are tremendous for a melee carry. We've already talked about some of them, but this one just suits his role so well. Awaken the Emmerich, 17 power, and the ability to convert all nearby minions to your team and grant them death touch and drain life. Basically, what you do, if you have an inhibitor down, or not, you go right up to the enemy tower or inhibitor, you wait for the minion wave to get to you, you press Awaken the Emmerich, and all of a sudden you have an instant minion wave inches away from the enemy tower. The minions turn around, they go in the tower, and in the late game, you incinerate that tower instantaneously. Basically, if you can get away with it, if you could dive into enemy territory, get there undetected, do that really cheesy strategy, you can take towers like that. And boy, it happened to me a few times. And yeah, it's cheesy, but you know what? That's what Wukong's all about. We've now moved on to mid laners in a general sense. Honestly, I'm just going off of the Paragon wiki for the hero order. Gadget's a bit tricky. I'm picking Stagnant Dominion because it synergizes with her ultimate and her drone really, really well. Ability damage slows enemy move speed by 150 for 1 second. It doesn't seem like this has an internal cooldown. So on her ultimate, on her drone, it does a tremendously good job at keeping people there, controlling them, amplifying the damage. It's pretty nuts, let's just say, on Gadget. This one's hard for me because there's a few that are really good. Obviously, the ability slow one is great on Gideon. There's another one as well. I think Corrosive Walker, honestly, is it for me. Right after you teleport into place, you pop Corrosive Walker to reduce ability armor of nearby enemies by 30 for 6 seconds. Basically, you remove their ability armor for the duration of your ultimate. My thinking is a good Gideon player knows when to use his ultimate. So that means the enemy is vulnerable, meaning you can rely more so on the damage rather than anything else that slows people down so your ultimate does stuff. I think Corrosive Walker, man, a wicked combo with Gideon. I've really struggled with Howitzer because he's just damn good to begin with. He has control, he has slow, he has a great AoE ultimate that obviously works with all the cards we've already mentioned. So what is it about Howitzer that we can amplify even further? And I think it is this card here, Thaumaturge. Basically, you can get more mana, which will help with his great long-range poke, but you can also get more power to just synergize well with his entire kit anyways. Really, I think Thaumaturge just makes Howitzer better at the stuff he already does really well anyways. So, there's still lots of cards that are great for him. I think this one would be it, though. Now, this one's a no-brainer here for Bellica, and that's Riot Sapper. Remove 20% current mana from nearby enemy heroes, dealing ability damage equal to the amount of mana removed. 75 mana every 45-second cooldown. This also gives her ability armor and some power. Great for her kind of get-in-your-face sort of nature. She doesn't have much escape, so this is really going to help. Obviously, boom, you use Mana Bomb at the beginning of an engagement of a team fight, especially in close quarters like Raptors and or Prime. Boom, there's 20% of mana gone. You put down your drone to drain it even further, only amplifying Bellica's nature of draining mana. Now for Countess, this is another no-brainer, Reactor Beast. 10 power, 14 attack speed, 240 health, exactly what she needs to just get a little bit more sustainability, but this passive is ridiculous. Hero kill resets all basic ability cooldowns. Put some power on Countess, you can easily two-shot people if they have a little bit damage taken or they're just squishy. Definitely three-shot people. And then boom, there's your basic abilities off cooldown. Like, you can two-shot somebody into your ultimate. You've wasted your ultimate, but you have your two other abilities off cooldown again. Oh my goodness, Reactor Beast on Countess is insane! Now, this one might come as a surprise to you, but the potential is there. Shadow Dancer. Enter the Shadow Plane and gain 50 movement speed for 15 seconds. Attacking an enemy from the Shadow Plane applies a 400 movement speed slow for 1 second. I don't need to tell you how powerful this is on the Fae. She can easily get into position for her ultimate, which then the ultimate will apply 400 movement speed slow to all targets that the ultimate drags in, so that's they're slowed basically to a standstill for a second. Plus you have your nettles and your bramble patch. Oh my goodness, insane. Shadow Dancer on the Fae, and one other hero that's coming up is mind-boggling. You know, version 42 has been really good to Iggy. And I struggle. There's some really good cards, but honestly, Staking a Dominion, I think, is it. Ability damage slows enemy move speed by 150 for 1 second. His turrets, his damage over time, his right click. What more could you ask for a turret hero? To slow targets, to keep them under your turret's influence even longer. Just a perfect card for Iggy. Now, there's some good cards for Morigesh. Reactor Beast for Countess is another one because Morigesh is pretty good at solidifying kills with her ultimate and her long cooldown hive. Anyways, Nameless Curse is just insane. Deal 50 damage per second to target enemy for 18 seconds. Guys, that's 900 damage. This damage, though, cannot kill the unit. It doesn't matter because her ultimate will, or her hive will. So every 80 seconds, you can have another hive, basically a ridiculously powered hive, on the enemy as well as your hive. What? Now, Shinbi's been treated so nicely in version 42, so much so that I have a tough time deciding what cards to put on her. These are all the cards that I'm like, oh, that'd be good for Shinbi, that'd be good for Shinbi, that'd be good for Shinbi, but I gotta pick one, and this one's it, because it's absolutely insane. Amplification Engineer, 24 health, 24 power, 210 mana, just so you can do the passive more when casting an ability damage nearby enemy heroes in an AoE, all enemy heroes, for 8% of their current health as ability damage. Kaboom! Every 2 seconds on your freaking line tempo. Whenever you put your circle rhythm, whenever you do your rushing beat, and of course, your ultimate. That is absolutely insane. You get a Shinbi in the middle of a team fight. Every 2 seconds, that's 4% of people's health just gone. Every second, as long as she's using an ability. Plus, she can weave in her, well, just all of her other abilities. It is freaking sane. Now, I've struggled with Wraith, and Nameless Curse, the one that we recommended for Morigesh, would work really well for him, because he could, you know, snipe into basic attack, into the curse that would really drain them, into another snipe, and then he could easily follow them up and get the kill. I think Yomi Spectre, though, is really good for Wraith. Basically, dealing any damage, including a snipe, to an enemy reduces their ability armor by 12, and you gain true vision of the target for 10 seconds. So not only will your next snipe do extra damage because they have reduced ability armor, you can also see them. True vision, just no matter what, for 10 seconds. So then you can snipe them again, deal extra damage, plus you'll be able to see them further after that. A great card for Wraith. Please like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, share it with the community, and of course, guys, subscribe. You guys like this content, especially if you found it useful. Please subscribe so I can do it for you in the future. If you would like to support me on a regular basis, please head on over to my Patreon account where you can make a pledge to help me do what I love. Till next time, like always, guys, stay optimistic and positive.